First things first, full transparency. Gowutar did send out the A20C red dot for testing and review. So head over to their IG, check those guys out, give them a follow, and check out all their other products. Now, alright, today we're going to be taking a real look at the Gowutar A20C. And I'll be straight with you. This is one of those optics where the specs look good on paper, the price looks good too, and you kind of expect it to fall apart after the second recall hits it. But after running it, digging into the build, checking how the recall and the reticle behaves, looking at the long-term stuff as far as the zero retention and the battery performance, it's honestly better than I expected. So let's break this down the way I always do. The housing, the glass, the reticle, battery life, and the real world shooting part. And then whether or not this optic actually makes sense to your setup. So right off the bat, the A20C is built out of 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. I know some companies love to throw aircraft grade around like it's a magic word, but the 6061 is actually decent. It's lightweight, durable, and it handles the shock very well. This thing is rated for 1500 G's of shock resistance, which, let's be real, that basically means it's more than capable of handling anything from 9mm to 45 ACP, even snappy stuff like 10mm or the MOS Glock that throws optics around like it owes its money. It's also IPX7 waterproof, so rain, sweat, dropping on it even in the dirt is fine. Don't scuba dive with it. It'll definitely be alright in real world use. Size wise, it's compact, not tiny like a micro dot, but it's got a 24mm window, which honestly is one of the highlights of this optic. The bigger window means easier dot pickup, especially if you're in awkward angles or even when someone's coming out of the draw. The footprint is a standard RMR SRO pattern, which 99% of the pistol slides these days support, so you don't have to run it with a plate, or you can run it with a plate. And if you want to put it on a rifle or a shotgun, throw it on a little Picatinny mount, but I opted to put it on a multi-reticle ADE mount to go on top of my LPVO.
Nah, it's too far left. It is somewhat zeroed in now. I think I may be able to do a little more transitions. Go grab some more magazines. We are out of ammo. Crank some more shots off and get this thing broke in decently. And once I get it zeroed in to here, we're gonna put a decent amount of rounds on this thing. I'm figuring 300 rounds before I even say anything about the dot. But I can say off the initial impressions, that little gel spot, I'm assuming it's because of the brightness range. No, it's not. It's just constantly there. So it is daylight bright. I will say that it's pretty visible. So it's bright enough. If you don't mind that little gel spot, there's no problems to it. Other than that, I would say for right now, it is decent. As long as it holds zero on here, which I'm pretty sure it will, because it looks like it's decently built, I think it'll be just fine. So I'm gonna grab some more ammo and then we'll just start cranking some rounds out on this thing. But overall, I will say this Gowutar, for what it costs, it's holding up for right now. I don't know about the longevity to it. But I will say, as the sun comes out, that little blotch does disappear off of it. So I'm wondering if I could turn it. So it's more pronounced. The lower you have the dot setting, it's more pronounced. But you turn it up some, it takes away from it and it pulls your eye to the dot. So I will say, I think it's just a workaround for right now. What we're gonna do, like he just did, like Chris just did, he cleaned it off. I think we're gonna clean it off and see if that takes the problem away from it. If not, I don't think that would be too bad of a deal, especially for what you're paying for this thing. This is what you get when you do go to budget options. And as far as the companies, they are brand new companies. They have to work the bugs out on it. You guys know, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am not gonna give a product a bad review solely because it has problems. Every one of them had problems on it. Unless the company just does not want to address it, that's the only way I'm going to give it to them. I am T&E in a lot of this stuff. This is solely what I am doing, so I'm not going to bash it too hard. I got another point of view here. So aiming it at the ground, that blotch is gone. When you put it up against a light background, that's when it appears. So now that I take it out to the targets out there, the steel that's out 50, 75, 80 yards, that blotch is pretty much gone. I mean, it's still there, but it's not as pronounced as when it is on that light background.
So let me tell you, the viewing window is actually really solid for the price. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend the glass is Trijicon clear. It isn't, but it's definitely not blurry junk like you see on that Amazon $40 stuff, which this is on Amazon, but it's not that $40 material. It's a fully multi-coated ruby red lens, cuts down on the glare and holds up in bright sunlight. And the slight tint you see is normal for anything in this price range. The 24mm window, that does work. If you're the type of shooter who struggles to find a dot sometimes, maybe your presentation is still improving, the size of the window helps a lot and you don't get tunnel vision. The dot appears quickly, your recoil makes it easy to track. For newer shooters or people getting used to dots on pistols, this one's a better window size. Now onto the reticle options. This optic actually gives you 3 reticle modes and they're all actually useful but not gimmicks. I like to stick with a 2 MOA dot. It's clean, crisp, and good for accuracy. 38 MOA circle is fast, wide, and great for defensive shooting and close quarters work, especially on a shotgun. The circle dot combo, you get the best of the both worlds for the 38 MOA circle and then the dot combo. That's probably one of the better things to do if you're going to run it on a shotgun. Switching between the 3 is simple. You just hold up on the up button for 3 seconds and it cycles to the next option. The dot itself, it is pretty crisp unless your eyes are having a astigmatism. You're not going to get a ton of starburst or halo. And the brightness range is good. 10 levels total with 2 night vision settings. I don't ever use that stuff. Too poor for it. I'll see it before and I'll see it again. I'm not running nods and I don't play around with low light setups. However, the battery is a CR1632 and it's shake weight. The system is actually legit on this one. If you leave your gun sitting around or sitting still, the optic powers down. And as soon as you move the gun slightly, it's right back on. They claim it's up to 50,000 hours. I haven't tested it that far. I have left it on for almost a month now. This is how long I've had this dot in my possession. So I've left it on the highest brightness setting. Make sure I rolled it around so it stayed jarring a lot. This is what I do with a whole bunch of optics. Every time I get one, put it in the car, ride it around so it just keeps going. The controls in Zero, tell you, is very easy. You got your up and your down for the brightness buttons on the side. That's pretty standard. They click well, they're tactile, and they're not mushy. The windage and elevations are 1 MOA per click, and that's about as precise you need for a pistol optic. The adjustments range from 45 MOA in either direction. So unless your mounting plate is way out of whack, you should be able to zero it without any issues on anything that you put it on. All right, here's the real part. How it actually shoots. The dot pickup is fast because of that big window. The recoil tracking is better than I expected. The reticle stays clean, no flickering, no dimming on the recoil. It held zero with multiple range trips, even after swapping it on guns. Put it on the pistol, placed it on a shotgun, didn't get much footage of that. Put it on a rifle, ran about 150 rounds through that, placed it back onto the pistol, and it was still holding zero. On rifles, it's surprisingly useful, especially on that pick rail if you're going to go that route. But like I said, I opted to put it on an LPVO with an ADE mount and it worked just fine. And because you can run that 2 MOA dot, you can do decent accuracy from 25 to 50 yards and no problems. And if you like the circle reticle for fast target acquisition, that's actually usable there. So great window size, multi-reticle is actually helpful. The shaker weight works reliably. It has good battery life, got an RMR footprint, which is universally compatible. It holds zero well, it's budget friendly without feeling cheap. So my final verdict. So the Gowutar A20C is one of those optics I call smart money gear. You're not paying for the name, you're not paying for marketing. You're getting a solid optic that does everything that you need it to do without drama. If you need something like a carry pistol, a ranged pistol, a home defense setup, a PCC, a 12 gauge, a budget rifle build, or just getting into red dots so you don't want to drop $350 on one in a day, it makes sense. Is it a Trijicon? No. Is it a Holosun? No. But it also isn't pretending to be. It's rugged, simple, reliable. The optic has a big window, it's long battery life, and the reticle options are actually what matter. All that for a price of one night out. If you're trying to get the most performance for the dollar, this is absolutely deserves a look. Now, with all that being said, I'll see y'all fellas in the next one. But don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe, come back and enjoy some more videos, and I'll see y'all in the next one.